Hello, everybody. It is Monday, the 2nd of May. Um, I'm still on the path of trying to understand what it is we are doing. We must understand how we are reacting or how we are connecting to this field around us in order to manifest the correct outcomes. So, I have my friend at the moment, again, she's on this rampage about the old texts, how they were given in order to deceive us. And no, the deception is not in the texts, it is in the doctrine. Yeah? And it is the doctrine that says something is good or something is bad. The text just tells you the facts. And it's up to you to discern whether that is good or bad. So, like in the text, Jesus brought a knowledge and then he proposed a way. And the text tells you quite clearly that the outcome of that way is going to be the book of Revelation, which is pestilences, famine, earthquakes, total destruction, wars. Yeah? So we've been told 2,000 years ago that would be the outcome of that way. Yeah? And then for 2,000 years we were under the doctrine that told us that is good. That's a brilliant outcome, let's all go there. And they're not using your own discernment whether that is actually good. Because if you were of sound mind at all, you would know it's not. But that is what doctrine does. It's not the text. The text is just, it's telling you quite clearly, you do this, that's going to be the outcome. Yeah? So it's not the text that is deceiving you. It is doctrine that is telling you that is good. And if you're a big enough idiot to run with that, you have no discernment of your own. Well, that's up to you. You were given the ability to reason. You should use it. So, and the question is, do we receive for ourselves or for something else? And how does this work? And what should we be doing? So, and there is an understanding in that text, what we should and what we shouldn't be doing. So first of all, what was Jesus given? Jesus brought a knowledge, and that is the knowledge of the Creator. And that is that you are in this field, and he describes the field as the giver. Now, the egoistic interpretation of the giver is obviously you're getting stuff. It's the materialistic view of this, which is not wrong, but it is not the entirety of what it is. You need the emotional understanding. How does emotion interpret the giver? And it is unconditional love. So it is unconditional love that gives, and it doesn't judge you. That's why it's unconditional. Which sets it apart from God, which God is apart, and God is very much conditional. Yeah? I will love you and I will give to you if you serve me. So that's the big difference between God and the Creator, which is something we need to understand, the distinction between the two of them. So Jesus was given this knowledge of we are in this field of unconditional love. And so first of all, where did that knowledge come from? How did he receive it? And there is something has to prepare the way, and in comes John the Baptist, yeah, who was working repentance. Again, we've been told repentance is beat yourself soggy. Look at all your bad parts and really give yourself a good whipping, which is not what it is. And that is not what they did. They were very much in the same situation that we are in now. History is repeating itself. So they were in a situation where the world was going belly up. Rome was about to destroy their lifestyle, their culture, everything that they knew. And so what they actually did is what repentance is first of all realizing that you are in that situation. Yeah, things are going belly up around you. Secondly, knowing that you need a way out, but you can't do it. That is, the ego does not know the way. Because the ego is materialistic and they had no materialistic way of going up against Rome. Which is why they went on the spiritual path. Yeah? So ego knows it cannot find the way, so therefore it is asking for a correction, for a new knowledge, and that is spiritual knowledge, a new way of looking at this. And John knew. Now he got a lot of people together, it wasn't just him asking, yeah, for this new way, for this new knowledge. So there were quite a few of them coming together, asking that. And probably not asking just for themselves, but asking for all Jews. So that was a massive question, and it got a massive answer. But John knew that answer would not manifest inside of himself. He knew that. He was waiting for it to come, to manifest somewhere else. He was waiting for someone to come to bring that answer. So they were asking for themselves, but they knew the answer would manifest somewhere else. So, and then came Jesus, was the answer. And the answer was the knowledge of the Creator. You know, that you are in this field of unconditional love, and that it gives, it wants to give, and that you can receive. And then that is what we need to make a reality. We must say that is what reality is. Yeah? Reality is that we are in a field of unconditional love that wants to give to us. Which it is surprising how hard that is to believe. You know, for us. It is a massive shift in our thinking, but it is, you know, it is surprising how hard it is for us to take that in. So Jesus came and he made that his reality. He thought, I am in this field of unconditional love that wants to give to me and it doesn't judge me. And then reality became what he thought it was. See, there is where our thoughts impact on reality, where the Creator becomes what we think it is, and that is the act of creation. And it was a very good thought, a very good knowing. You know, I'm in this field of unconditional love that gives to me. And then Rome has really not got a prayer if that becomes reality. So, but then how do you work that? That's the thing. You've got the knowledge now. What do you do with it? And that is the way of Jesus, what he thought you should do. And the outcome of that is the book of Revelation. So whatever he said to do with it, don't do it. Because that's where it will take you. So what Jesus first of all did was he became unconditional love. Because you are made of the Creator, and if you think the Creator is unconditional love, in order to interact with that new reality, you must become that reality. The kingdom outside of you and the kingdom inside of you must become the same wavelength, so to speak, so you can interact with that new reality. So you become unconditional love, and you do not judge. Again, that's what he said, and that's what he did. So far, so good. So, but then there's the ego. And there we have a problem. What is the function of the ego in all of that? Yeah? So you've got the energy of unconditional love that you give and you ask through something that is unconditional love. So what is the function of the ego? What does it do? Now Jesus said the ego is nothing. Throw it out of the way. If you are unconditional love, then the ego cannot be in the way, because you must give to something else. So you become a completely empty vessel, no thought of your own, no desire of your own. And the way you give is you let something else's desire come into you, fill your vessel, and then you give. Your energy goes through somebody else's desire, and you manifest for him, not yourself. For myself, I ask nothing. The outcome of that is the book of Revelation. Yeah, so we know that is not the way. We know that is not right, because we've already been shown the outcome. So we do not need to go on that way. The Kabbalah at the moment is still, and I hear them howling, that the ego is not pure altruism, that the ego must become pure altruism. Well, of course, they're not reading the New Testament, that they're rejecting that. So, but if you are a Christian, no, that is not the way. To shove the ego out of the way completely is not the way. So what do we do? Or what is the function of the ego? The ego is the flaming cherubim that guards your energies, where you use your energies with discernment. So you become unconditional love in a field of unconditional love, but you must use that energy with discernment, and that is what the ego is. It guards your energies. Because in a state of unconditional love, you are extremely vulnerable. Extremely vulnerable. So there, the ego is guarding, is keeping safe this garden of unconditional love by only allowing in the correct desires. So there's two thoughts I had. So what do we do? First of all, the ego does get in the way. I mean, there's no doubt about it, because I can see it here. I can see my husband's desires, and I wish he would receive, because I can see his pain. But again, I think, well, I'm asking for him, and of course the ego does get in the way. It says, yeah, well, what about me? It does that. So can we give in part? Do we need to be 100% in order to give? To ask for somebody else? Do we need to be 100%? Or can we give to the extent that his desire is my desire, but that is not all that I am? I have more desires than that. So can we give in part? That's one question. Or the other way I was thinking about is, I know there's desires in this house where we all agree, where we all want the same thing. So, in which case you don't have to shove the ego out of the way, but the ego is a part of that desire. Yeah? And ask in that way, so that you are a part of the bigger desire of all. Again, there needs to be discernment, because 2,000 lemmings can be wrong. Yeah? So you still have to discern whether that's good or not. But so you work it that way. Yeah, it is your desire, and you become a part of everything else. But the way of Jesus is definitely the wrong way. Because if you shove the ego out of the way, he became that which would serve that desire that he let in its entirety. And the desire that came in was the desire to rule over, to have dominion. He emptied his vessel, and that desire filled him. I want to have dominion over you. And then he became. So we become according to our desires. But should we completely become that which will serve something else? Are we to make ourselves slaves to something else? Or are we, how do we stay ourselves and give? That is the question. Because as I said, the outcome of becoming something else completely for him was the book of Revelation. So that can't be right. So where was the mistake? That is the question we have to ask. And that is what I'm not quite clear about this yet. How do we work this? I mean, know that is the foundation. Know you are in this field of unconditional love that wants to give to you, and that will become your reality. Reality will become that. And then you become unconditional love in order to live in that reality and interact with that reality. But as I said, at that moment you are in a very vulnerable state. And then what you have to ask for something else. It will manifest in something else. But how do we do that correctly? That is the question. I mean, I'm going to think about that a bit more to see if I can see a way. But know that the way of Jesus was not it, because the book clearly tells you that. We were told that 2,000 years ago, that would be the outcome of shoving the ego out of the way completely. That would be the outcome. So, anyway, I leave it at that for today. I said it brings up a lot more questions. But in the end, this is a powerful machinery that can create realities. The thought, this knowledge that was given is massive. It is massive, and it would have massive implications for us to work it. Yeah? I mean, it is beyond an atom bomb. So should we just go around pressing buttons, not knowing what it is we're doing? Or should we have a clear understanding? Or ask for an understanding of what it is we're doing? In part, the understanding is already there because it is in those texts. Yeah? So, and that is a knowledge that went before us. So we should use it. I think we should add to it. It doesn't seem to be all of it. Yeah? So we need to add to it. And we must see what was wrong in the way they thought. The right and the wrong. And then add to it to work this thing correctly. But that is what we must do now. We are in another state of correction. Yeah? We must correct our thinking about this to find the correct way. That is the work that we must do now. And we must do that work and not go, well, it's magic. Let's just go and do, not knowing what we're doing. And the book of Revelation might look like a good outcome. God knows what we're coming up with. Anyway, I leave it at that for today, and I talk to you again soon. Bye.